So this video is a continuation of our previous videos on linear equations, and here we'll discuss more problems which are word based, and many of these problems will be really challenging enough for all of you. Look at our first problem. Now ages of two friends differ by 3 years and some more data is given to us. First of all, when we look at the first line, it says that the ages of two friends differ by 3 years. Does it mean that the age of A minus the age of B is 3 years, or is it vice versa? So actually, if it is given that difference is 3 years, it could be both. So we will take up both the cases while looking at this problem. So let us say the ages of A, B, C and D are small a, B, C and D, and then we say that either it's A minus B is 3, that's first case, or I will say B minus A is 3. So we will take up both the cases individually. So in the first case, when I say A minus B is 3, it's also given that D's age, which is A's father, D's age is twice as old as A. That means D is 2A. Also, it's given that B is twice as old as his sister. That means B is twice of C. So, if I also see one more line is given that ages of C and D differs by 30 years. Now, here we have to understand that since D is twice of A and B is twice of C, so it's obvious that D is more than C, and therefore D minus C is equal to 30 years. And now putting D as 2A in this last equation and B as 2C, that is C is B by 2 in the same last equation, we will get 2A minus B by 2 is equal to 30. So now we have got two equations in two variables A and B, and we can solve it. Solving this, I get A minus B is 3 and 4A minus B is 60, which upon solving gives me the value of A as 19 and the value of B as 16. But this is only one case where I had assumed that A is more than B. The other case, that is where B is more than A, which is 3, the difference of B and A is 3, I have to solve that also. And if I solve this, what do I get? My rest of the equations are the same, that is D is 2A and B is 2C. So I get that C is still less than D, and so D minus C is still 30, and that gives me these equations. And so when I solve these equations, I get A as 21 and then finally B as 24. And we should realize that both of these sets of answers are the correct answers. Now looking at the options, I can say A and B both are correct, and therefore C is the right answer. Alright, do we have a shortcut for this? Of course. So if I see a shortcut, what will that be? So obviously best is use options. So if I look at the first option, where A is 19 years of age and B is 16 years of age, difference we see is 3. The same is also true in the case of B option. The difference of the ages is 3. And so if I just look at first option right now, when A is 19, so D's age is double of that, so it is 38, and B is 16, so C is 8. And therefore difference of D and C is 30, so it matches with the entire data. And therefore A option is the right answer. But don't mark A option because we have yet to check B option. Why should I check B option? Because of C option, that both A and B. So maybe that A is true but also B is true, and if that were to be the case, then the correct option will be C option. So now let's check with the second option, where A is 21 and B is 24. So if A is 21, obviously D's age will be 42, and if B's age is 24, that means C's age will be half of that, that is 12. And here again the difference of D and C is 30, and this also therefore matches with the data. And so I can say that 21, 24, the pair of ages is also correct. And so both A and B are correct. So I feel that the shortcut approach is faster and easier to do instead of the proper conventional equations method. Alright, our next problem is this, and this is an actual past CAT problem. So read the question yourself and let us now discuss. Here we have to form two equations assuming the number of pens and pencils and erasers as some variables. So my equations will be like this: 5x plus 7y plus 4z equals to k. And then I see that, here I have taken x as x as the cost of one pen, y is the cost of one pencil, and z is the cost of one eraser. In the second line it says Rajan. Now Rajan bought 6 pens, 8 erasers and 14 pencils. See, they have reversed the order. That means they have given the number of erasers first and number of pencils later on. So reverse it, so you will get 6x plus 14y plus 8z. Now how do we get it as 1.5k? Because the question says Rajan pays half as much more than what I paid. So if I paid k rupees, Rajan paid 50% more, that is 1.5k. And so I have got these two equations. We realize that 7y and 4z, the double of these is 14y and 8z in the second equation. So if I double the first equation and subtract, I will be able to eliminate y and z in one stroke. And this will give me the value of x in terms of k, like this. And if you subtract the equations now, you will get 4x is 0.5k, or you can say x is 0.5k upon 4. That's 0.125k. Now since I have paid for 5 pens, I have bought 5 pens. The cost of one pen is 0.125k, so the cost of 5 pens will be 5 times of that, which is how much? That's 0.625k. And therefore, the required percentage will be 62.5%. Now in this question, the trap was, I have seen students, once they get x as 0.125k, they feel the answer is 12.5%. And that is also given as one of the options. But the correct answer is, since I have bought 5 pens, so I will multiply that by 5. So 12.5% into 5 gives me 62.5%, and so that is the correct answer. Okay, next problem. So all of these are word-based problems. Some of them are actual CAT or ZAT or FT problems, and I feel many of them are challenging enough for us to solve. Look at this problem. So upon reading this question, you will be able to form at least two equations in, let's say, x, y and z, like this, where x is the cost of one burger and y that of shakes, and z is the cost of one order of fries. Now upon getting these equations, since we have got two equations but 3 variables, we are constrained in terms of finding out the values of x, y and z. But I am asked to find out the value of x plus y plus z. At this stage, students feel that since I have less equations, more variables, the answer would be cannot be determined, and that's given as one of the options. Let us see whether that is the answer or not. We need to do some bit of manipulation. Actually, in this kind of question, what we think we should do is multiply first equation by some number and second equation by some other number, and then add or subtract them to somehow create the coefficients of x, y and z as desired. And what we desire here is x plus y plus z is, what we desire is the coefficients of x, y and z is 1 each. So how do we attain this? Now it could be a case of hit and try. We keep on trying by some numbers or not. It could be a random guesswork. Maybe to some students it strikes, to some students it doesn't strike. So what is a proper way of solving this question? Because maybe if you are trying this and the answer is actually not possible, and you will keep on trying, so you will end up wasting 4-5 minutes. We don't have that much time. So what we do is something like this. Let's multiply the first equation by some constant, like say m, and the second equation by n. And let us write the equations as this: 3mx plus 7my and so on. Likewise the second equation. And if I subtract the equations, I will get this 3m minus 4n into x, likewise 7m minus 10n into y, and so on. And this right hand side becomes 120m minus 164.5n. If I could somehow find the value of m and n such that in this obtained equation 3m minus 4n becomes 1, similarly 7m minus 10n also becomes 1 and m minus n also becomes 1, I will be able to match this coefficients with the coefficients desired in the question. And so what I do is I rewrite the equations and see that 3m minus 4n I desire it to be of value 1 because the coefficient is 1. 7m minus 10n coefficient should be 1, coefficient of y is 1, so 7m minus 10n should also be 1, and likewise. It means my new equations will be 3m minus 4n equals to 1 and so on. Now out of these three equations, they are equations in m and n. We have got now three equations but two variables. Solve any two of them. And if the solution of that satisfies the third equation, then firstly this question that means would be solvable, and in that case D option would not be the answer. But if the solution of any two equations does not satisfy the third equation, then we will say the correct answer is D option, because then the question cannot be solved. So let us solve any two of the equations. We know how to solve this, so I will not elaborate that part. And we get the values of m and n as 3 and 2. And this satisfies the third equation. Therefore, this question is solvable. That means I can find out the value of x plus y plus z, which is what I desired. And so, my right hand side of the above equation becomes like this. So, putting m as 3 and n as 2, the right hand side becomes 120 into 3 minus 164.5 into 2, and that gives me 31. Okay, so my correct answer is A option, that is 31. Alright, so let's move on to our next problem. In this, it's given that cost of each horse is 23 and that of each cow is 16. I managed to buy some number of each so that the total cost is 461. What is the number of each? Here what I am given is, suppose I say I could buy X number of horses and Y number of cows. So my equation becomes this: 23x plus 16y is equal to 461. And again the problem is, I have got only one equation, two variables, but the underlying concept is that since x and y are positive integers, I cannot have fractional number of horses or cows, or I cannot have negative number of cows or horses. This will help me to some extent. So how do we go about it? What we do is, we see that the values of x which I am going to obtain will be an AP series with the common difference which is nothing but coefficient of y. And coefficient of y is 16. Similarly, the values of y which I will get corresponding to the values of x, that will be again an AP series with the common difference, that will be the coefficient of x. So, I do some manipulation. So, what I do is 16y I can write as 461 minus 23. And this I further write as 464 minus 3 minus this. What I am doing is 464 is a multiple of 16 and 23x I split as 16x plus 7x. And so I segregate the multiples of 16 and the balance, and what I get is 16k. Basically 464 minus 16x is written as a multiple of 16, and rest of the terms are written as it is, that is minus 3 minus 7x. And now what do I see? 3 plus 7x should be a multiple of 16, so that the equation remains valid, because left hand side is a multiple of 16, right hand side should also be a multiple of 16. Now at this stage I might use some hit and trial. So I also realize that if 3 plus 7x is to be a multiple of 16, x must be odd. Why? Because if x is even number, then 7x plus 3 will be an odd number, and that can't be a multiple of 16. So x must necessarily be odd. So let's start with x as 1, then 3, then 5 and so on. So I realize that when x is 11, then my y will be 13, because when x is 11, I get 3 plus 7x as what? 77 plus 3, which is 80, and that's a multiple of 16. And once I get x as 16, putting it back in the first equation, original equation, I will get y as 13. And so, if I now check with the next value of x, I will get 11 plus 16 is 27. Why? Why I added 16? Because I told you earlier that the values of x will be an AP series with common difference, which is the coefficient of y, and coefficient of y is 16. So I will have next value of x as 11 plus 16, that's 27. If I do that, the value of y becomes negative, and so not acceptable. It means my only or unique solution in this case is that number of horses will be 11 and number of cows will be 13. Now please realize that in such kind of questions it is quite possible that there are multiple answers possible. However, in this case we have only a unique solution possible. Alright, let's talk of one more problem. Now in this, look at that we have three types of coins: 1 rupee coins, 2 rupee and 5 rupee coins, and they have given some data. Please read it yourself and then we will discuss. Now if you have read this, you must have noticed that if you exchange the number of 1 rupee and 2 rupee coins, the value comes down by 40. What is the interpretation of that? Let us say number of 1 rupee coins earlier was x and number of 2 rupee coins was y. If the exchange leads to a fall by 40, it means y minus x is 40. It means earlier number of coins of 2 was 40 more than number of coins of 1. Now this point you have to understand carefully, because then only if I exchange them the value will come down. Alright, now if I use options one by one, I will see that if number of 5 rupee coins is 100, what do I see? Since total number of coins is 300, that means the balance number of 1 rupee and 2 rupee coins, total of them will be 200. If that is the case, and such that the difference of y minus x was 40, it means the case possible is 80 and 120. That means 80 coins of 1 rupee and 120 coins of 2 rupees. In that case, the total value comes out to rupees 820, which does not match with what is given in the question. So we try something else. That means let's check with B option. In that case, the number of coins of 5 rupees is 140. So 1 rupee and 2 rupee coins will therefore be 60 and 100. So that total number of coins remains 300. And then the total value comes out to be 960 rupees, which matches with the data. So in this manner, we can cut short the long process which would have been done otherwise if I go by conventional approach. So in this case also, once again, we are able to see that using options is the best strategy. Okay, let's proceed. Now this is an actual IFT problem. In this, we are to deal with fixed and variable expenses. So let us say the fixed cost in this situation is, say, small f, and variable cost is V per student. That means if number of students varies, the variable cost will change, but fixed cost will not change. Now it says that when there are 20 students, the per head cost is 400 rupees. That means 400 into 20 is the total cost with 20 students there. That is 8,000 rupees. Okay, so our equation will be like this: 400 into 20 is equal to F plus 20V. Why? Because F is a fixed cost that will be always there, and 20V because for one student the variable cost is V, with 20 students the cost will become 20V. And sum of fixed and total variable cost will be 400 into 20. That is 8,000 rupees. Similarly, I can form the second equation. I hope you can do it now. And this becomes our second equation. Subtracting them eliminates f and we get the value of b as 200. The variable cost is 200 rupees per person. And from this I can get the value of fixed cost as 4,000. Now once we have got the fixed cost and variable cost values, we can therefore find out the per head cost in case of 80 students as is asked in the question. So what we do is, total cost for 80 students comes out to this, that is fixed cost plus total variable cost for 80 students, that is 4,000 plus 80 into 200, and that comes out to 20,000 rupees, and therefore our per head cost will be obtained upon dividing by 80, so that is 250, and so A option is the right answer. Do we have a shortcut for this? Let's see. Now in this question, did you notice when there were 20 students, the per head cost was 400, and when number of students increased to 40, the per head cost decreased to 300. So as the number of students is increasing, the per head total cost is decreasing. So is it now not logically obvious that the average cost per student is decreasing with increase in number of students? So when the number of students now is 80, obviously the per head cost will be less than 300, isn't it? And if the per head cost will be less than 300, the only option in this question I see is A option. And mind you, this is the actual question without fudging of data. It's expressed as it is. So quite often you will see in actual exams you have such actual options given to us, but we don't think in those lines. We students think in lines of forming the equations, eliminating variables and solving it. So I think you should start thinking along these lines also. These are called smart strategies. Alright, one more problem which is an actual CAT problem. Again, it's based on a number of some digits. Again, let's assume that the number is, let's say, xy. The question says the number is same as 8 times the sum of digits and add it to 1. So that means first we'll say the value of the number is 10x plus y, which is equal to 8 times x plus y plus 1, because the question says 8 times sum of digits and add it to 1. Similarly, from the second line we say that the number is 13 times the difference of digits and add it to 2. So our next equation will be like this, and which upon simplification I get these. So both the equations are simplified. Our first equation becomes 2x is equal to 7y plus 1, and second equation is 3x is equal to 14y minus 2. Now solving these equations, from the first equation we see 7y and second equation as 14y, so I think it's obvious that we should double the first equation so that we have 14y, and later on we'll eliminate 14y. So 4x becomes 14y plus 2. Our second equation remains as it is, and now subtract. So we get x is equal to 4, and once I get x is equal to 4, y becomes 1. And so we have a unique answer. And so number of such numbers will be only one, that is B option. Any shortcut for this? Rather a different kind of thought. Now once we have got the equation as 2x is equal to 7y plus 1, without looking at the second equation, only from first equation we can think. Now if we have 2x is equal to 7y plus 1, can we say that when y is 1, x will be 4? When y is 3, now why did we not take y as 2? Because if y is taken as 2, the right hand side of that equation will be 7 2s are 14 plus 1 15, and that is not divisible by 2, and therefore we will not get an integer value of x. So y being an even number is ruled out. So when y is 3, x will be 11. But since x and y are supposed to be single digit numbers, this case is ruled out. So we are left with only one case, that is y equal to 1 and x is 4. So our number is 41, and how many such numbers are there? Obviously it is only one number. But then we took y as 1 and x as 4. Does it also satisfy the second condition in the question? Maybe, since we are following this method, so maybe it is possible that this 41 doesn't satisfy the second condition, which we have not yet checked. So let's check it out. Now, is the number 41 equal to 13 times the difference of digits added to 2? Difference of digits is 4 minus 1, 3. So 13 times of that is what? 39. To which if I add 2, I get 41. And so it satisfies. That means for this question, only one such number exists, and that is 41. So I hope in this video you have learned a lot of concepts, lot of smart techniques of solving questions. In the case of questions based on words, or in case of word-based problems, you need not always form the equations. If you think a little bit more smartly, I think you can save a lot of time.
Thank you for watching this video. In case you have any query regarding this video, you can always approach me on the mentioned email ID. Alternatively, you can also send the comments in the comment box.